What is up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C, and it's 10 minutes after I watched Real Housewives this time, Atlanta, during this real time, y'all. So I just want to get out the way. And of course, as far as I'm concerned, personally, to me, the previews were much better to a certain point than the actual show this episode. They were getting hype up like it was about to be round two. So we pick up back at the lovely fuckery we seen from last episode of episode 13 of season 6. And we pick up back to the mess we left off. We have Apollo with his body just glistening, his shirt off. We don't know the reason why. I mean, I am mad that he sat there and snapped. Don't bring no snap to anybody. But it is confusing because he is with his shirt off and it's very nice looking to see. And he's not. Okay, never mind. Okay, besides that. So, when he's about to start that, like I say, picked up the last 30 seconds before, they cut off to the credits for the next episode, which is now. So, we got Apollo, about to come at Brandon to get on the other side. Brandon, with that lovely silk, the 100% just pure silk outfit on. I'm just saying, that was a nice silk, but I'm just saying, this Brandon is on the other side, and I guess he was coming back for Brandon again, right? And it's like, seriously? So, Brittany, of course, in her thing, is set to still say that Kenya was at fault. You should have gotten out of your seat. What? I mean, like I said this before, and I honestly will say this. I may not be too fond of Kenya or whatever, but right is wrong is wrong. And Kenya was not at fault of this mess. Kenya said it right, that Nene was the cause of negativity and this, this down effect that we see right now. And it's almost like she strategically planned it to a T that everybody still thinks that Kenya, I could have seen, if you seen it in this episode, which I'm just, I could have found my nubs and everything because I'm not going to grow my nails back. But I mean, what we seen was that it's still, you have no choice but to agree that Kenya was not at fault of what had happened as far as affecting that in the first place, right? So, you got Portia and her mesh top thing, whatever, and swimsuit on. I don't know what's going on with that. Her and Sister Lee, she said she got the negative aura and she has to get out of there, right? So I don't actually blame her in that part. So much is going on. They're trying to show you stuff for ratings, if you know what I mean. But then, in the same time, trying to keep it where it doesn't look too ratchet, and they don't want Bravo to seem that darn bad. So that's probably why so many times most of us who have watched it probably had to sit here, at least all my YouTube buddies and stuff like that, and stuff like that, who review the shows and other fellow YouTubers, Bob's, we had to rewind. Or like, okay, we seen this here, but we didn't see this here because it was some stuff that was added. So anyways, Apollo with his glistening body is with that strong back is about to go back at Brandon, and they were able to stop 20 people by that time. We got all the producers and everybody trying to stop whatever. So Phaedra and Paulo leave. I thought actually they already left, but it turns out they didn't. And then they went somewhere, maybe the day I said hotel room, maybe just somewhere else even to calm down. So Nene's still all in Kenya's face talking about, you shouldn't have got out your seat or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And Kenya's just trying to find Brandon, and Brandon, they end up telling him, I forgot who it was, that's how much stuff was going on. They end up telling him he had to leave. But did y'all notice the first 5 minutes when they were in between arguments, because, we're getting ready for the candy, the famous line, I would drag you in this bitch, segment, we seen Chuck and Monique with a silent wire. We see Chuck in the corner. You see both of them in the corner, near the fireplace in the corner. In the corner. We just seen them in the corner. That's what I'm saying. You just seen them all like this. Chuck just with this, all that shit he was talking about and trying to come at Phaedra and Candy wasn't there. But the fact that the disrespect is in his punk ass, and I think he got even more scared because, he probably thought about, what if Apollo does that same shit to me he just did to Brandon's ass, okay? So, and then, we don't, Todd, of course, we already know was too chill, but I think he really was in the corner. All that stuff he was talking and stuff like that, what I'm saying is, I think after seeing whatever was edited about what Apollo was doing, and then he was ready for round 2, wasn't finished, then Chuck started to think about, ooh, shit, let me just open it. Don't bring them up. Don't bring them up. Don't bring them up. Don't bring them. Maybe I can run the door quicker. Maybe I can run the door quicker. Okay, hold me. Gets us a head start, but I'm going to have to get 10 seconds head feet for her because I want my ass feet. So that's what I thought, okay? So let's get back to these, this pure fucking, right? So, don't wake me, I'm dreaming. I talk to myself, Christopher Williams. decides to get up and give a somewhat of a speech about basically saying about what the hell was going on, stuff like that. As far as situation, he just didn't think like, he's basically saying like, I could have sworn something along the lines like, well, Kenya's behavior, or, that was no cause for her to do something like that, and blah blah blah, and everything else, right? And then we have Candy saying along the lines, of course, bringing up Natalie. We already know Natalie also plugged at last week, it turns out, about, when they were talking about dancing for the man. Did you notice? I noticed that she had to plug in that she wrote a song with Christopher Williams. All right, so you write a couple songs. Ooh, woo, woo. And so, anyways, I mean, in terms of her trying to plug in, I guess, and feel important. And, like I said, her and Monique are trying to compete to get the peach for next season, okay? So, you got Candy, asking about when Chris Rivers like, well, y'all, I think really directed towards Natalie about saying about Todd was an opportunist, okay? And, it ends up for some reason, Natalie, of course, again, decides to give this speech like, okay, I never said he was an opportunist. I did say he broke my girl's heart, blase, blase, all this stuff. And that Todd, also again, drives around and goes around and drag race and stuff and tries to avoid potholes when he drives and everything else in terms about his, as far as her two relation. Of course, Todd is like, he ain't feeling the need to saying something about, okay, that, that's wrong, whatever the case is, right? One of them, just some things. And just to make the edit it, because, like I said, this is really repeating the same thing, right? Now, Todd and Candy are talking and they will stand up. Around that time, Cynthia Cat walks over there and she is just doing this with her hands. And she was kind of like, what about 12 inches or whatever away from Candy talking to her about, basically saying, yeah, but I'm just giving, I was, because of course Chris them trying to say like, well, Cynthia was asking, Natalie was like, well, we didn't just bring it up out of nowhere. Cynthia was asking for concern or some mess like that. Like I said, there's so much going on to a point, there's so much BS you can say, y'all, it's just, you kind of, I personally, I'm like, even though I kept repeating it, rewind it a couple times, I was like, that's foolery. Anyway, you got, like I said, Cynthia over there is a catwalk, just like I said, to her and trying to explain to Candy, like, we were talking about and stuff like that, but she might have said these things, but, she also said good stuff about Todd as well, and I was just concerned, being blah, blah, like I said, Candy and Todd, stand up around this time, and they're still talking. Candy just felt offended because, like, okay, you doing this on your hands, you kind of get my space, okay? I could see up your nostrils, okay? I could tell you got, if you need to blow your nose or not, okay? That's basically how she just felt, like, you look too close in my space. And, they're just talking back and forth or whatever, right? And then Christopher takes the time out also to say, to Todd, like, in between, like, you know what, it was true, Natalie did say the stuff wrong, but, I'm good when you shall say good things to you. She was like, I'm from the Bronx, here go Christopher, he realized, like, okay, camera time, we'll keep piecing on shit like that. I got on the Bronx, blah, 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 they dap, whatever, do the bro hug, and, basically like, I'm cool with you, I'm happy for you. This is Monique also in the corner, y'all. Excuse me, y'all. It's as much that she wanted to talk about Candy and Phaedra, right? Make them seem like they were just sideline hoes or trying like, and talk about them, whatever. She took the time out around this time in between, like, y'all, you know what? Even to tell me, because Todd was like, he just sick of people, sick of, like her, for example, trying to say he was an opportunist. And he, he was like, but Monique, love is love, everybody. Y'all love each other, and that's all what matters. Anyway. So, Todd was like, yeah, I love it, blah, 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 blah. So Peter, who was somewhere else, is somewhere in the Bat Cave, or wherever the hell his ass was at, right? He decides to finally come out, and he wants to see what's going on. And it's almost like, did Cynthia tag him to be on the side where she originally was in front of their faces, right? So he just want to know what's going on. And Katie's like, we fine, blah, blah, blah. I was like, right? And then he said something about like, well, y'all acting kind of strange. Candy confessional strange. What did he mean by strange? She just fed up about this BS going on about people to call my Todd opportunities and blah, 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 right? And it seemed like less than 2 seconds. Here's what happened. We got Mallory also to ask, why don't you take your ass wherever the hell your husband at coming up there, right? And stand on the other side. So all of a sudden, Todd was like, felt like Peter was getting closer to his all up in here, whatever. So when Peter seemed like close face, I think that Todd pushed him to first. That's how fast it was. Then also Mallory like Taz, she pushed She pushes Todd one hand here, and then she pushes Candy. And then Candy was about to, that's what Vanity was basically like, what the fuck, blah, blah, blah. So Todd had to hold her back, a couple other people, and then, they had to put Candy in the corner. And then this is when Candy was talking about religion, like, I would drag, get that bit, whatever. And she says the thing like, I would drag her. Because, Mallory just in the corner talking about some, I would beat that hoe's ass and blah, 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 blah. Girl, sit down somewhere. Go back. Where's your husband? Please go. Okay, so, because Cynthia, of course, didn't see that Mallory pushed Candy. But why should we not be surprised? Because Mallory is, a couple times it's really kind of started shit between her and her husband. The person to me, you want to keep it real. So why would she not see about somebody who's not related to her, quote, quote, not close to her? So if she can't ignore the fact that, as far as like her causing war, it's already fire, but she gonna make it a whole explosion of stuff as far as Mallory has with the certain stuff that she has been saying and just inviting herself and simply just let her just run over her. What difference would that make? So it shouldn't be surprised with Cynthia's response. But we all know Cynthia to a certain point is not bow when it comes to certain stuff. Yeah, I said bow. Does anybody still say bow? Whatever. I'm saying it. Okay. So I'm just saying overall it's about that situation. Like I said, they had to calm Candy down. Then all of a sudden when Candy was about, here comes Phaedra, which I didn't know. Like I said, Phaedra was still there. And then, she comes and Candy was just so bad and blah, 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 whatever, right? So all of a sudden, Todd and Peter actually talk it out. They were just like, Todd was like, face, Peter, because, Peter, when he got in his face, like, you should know the rules or something like that. It just seemed like he was in his face about somebody, you should know the rules. I don't know if this was edited to a certain point. And that's when Todd pushed him, and Mallory, doing this and shit like that, whatever, what the case is. Because they were saying, Candy, I wasn't paying attention because, but Candy was all saying, I'm going to kill your ass, but and all this other stuff, whatever, right? But like I said, Candy was just enraged, okay? And I think, like I said, it was an opportunity. She was already mad about the man thing. Nene's pretending to calm her down. She's so caring, but of course, in the profession, talking about, you better not talk about her man and blah, 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 and all this stuff, right? But I do believe that's a lot of during buildup because the Todd thing goes back to her mom. We all know Candy has not, I don't know if she has yet fully confronted her mom about the situation about disrespecting Todd or whatever, feeling like she disrespected. So, in other words, she's sitting here in the build-up, and so when she has the opportunity to take it on somebody else, that's how that occurred, okay? So that's why all that build-up is. And then with Mallory, like I said, I had to keep one a couple times. And then, of course, they slow-moed at the end. Mallory did do it, just like they slow-mo about Christopher Williams. He didn't like say, she was, Kenya say, like, he grabbed her in the arm, but he did, like, loop around and stop her, or, just try to stop her from going under Natalie, okay? I mean, that's just my personal opinion, y'all. But I'm just saying still, but I'm not going to say this. I'm saying that it's still not Kenya's fault why that shit has started. It was Nene's overstring ass, okay? So anyway, I mean, she's definitely taking those skills she learned from acting on Glee and also the new normal and decided to put it into the script of this TV show, okay? Because she was able to see, it's still, everybody, even if they don't get along, still kind of someone believes, maybe just me, that the Kenya did it. So, anyways, like I said, Todd and actually Pete, because Pete was like, even Cynthia and Todd, because, first, also, too, earlier, that Cynthia, when Candy was like, get out of my space, but she was like, okay, when I'll talk to Todd, that's when Peter came in. But see, Cynthia, when Candy ended up coming out after Phaedra consoled her, she was basically like, I'm ready to go. Todd was like, no, let's talk for 2 minutes or whatever, right? And Peter's trying to say, like, calm down, Candy, everything's okay type of thing. Candy was like, I'm just ready to go. So I guess she goes in the bathroom again to calm down. And Peter and Todd talk it out, and they basically do the bro hug and stuff like that. Like, you know what? We above this, stuff like that, right? And then you got Cynthia and them also talking like, you knew the positive thing, but Cynthia's like, Peter actually has a lot of love for you and stuff like that. He got nothing but love for him, baby. Okay, so, but what I'm saying is, Peter actually looks at Todd as a cool guy. He was like, we intelligent, we above all this BS, man. We ain't work, we didn't have to take it that low. It just seemed like a domino effect that carried, right? And I think Chuck, like I said, Chuck and Monique decided why, you notice they must have tippy-toed out by that time. Did we see him anymore after that? Hell no. Okay, because last time I think we seen him was like he was still on that in that corner, and then Candy was coming after his ass. I mean, Candy was near his ass, so he was just probably worried about, oh shit, I don't want people start bringing that father here because his scary ass. Anyway, So after that night of kumbaya and all that stuff going on, we have the next day aftermath, and we got the clips of everybody's termination. Candy, Mitz, and even Tom was talking about. I found this hilarious that when her best friend Cameron was asked about what the hell happened, and Candy said a lot of stuff went out of hand. She's even talking about her behavior. She feels like I was out of line, and what her termination of would happen pre-supportive. Of course, I could have sworn again Candy might have been brought up from her. I'm just saying about this thing about Kenya. Then you got Nene and her confessionals feeling like, she was supposed to be called because it was her event, and Kenya was at fault for getting out her seat. And then Brent, she was talking about some girl called or something like that with a red dress on, in front of Brent. And I'm like, Nene, with your low blow ass, really, really, really though. So, again, she had to remind us about Brandon. I mean, just because he had, we did see him had St. Valentine's Midnight Love red silk on, but I mean, what the hell does it have to do anything? Okay? But what I'm saying is you got Candy with her version, you got Phaedra coming back from all that, she was just in show and shock, she had to take a break, whatever, and you got Paul sitting there, and you seen the book bag, y'all. If y'all seen your last episode, what was in that book bag? Anyway, so what I'm saying is that she feels embarrassed and stuff like that, and she's like, now people gonna bring it up because about his past. And then you have to think about, to a certain point, the messed up part is it do got something to do with his past, because the stuff that he is in the process of, he's been charged with and what's going on to this day is some of the same ish he was doing that got him in jail, and for the time that he did the other time. Okay, so like I said, when I'm looking at the book bag, I'm like, ooh, are we seeing what was going on play in front of our eyes? Ooh, just saying. So we got Candy and them talking about that. Ty was talking about, well, I can say that. God, I'm sorry. Ty was talking about, he thought the titty was gonna come out. It was one of those situations that she was gonna fight, pop out the titty, whatever. Then you got, of course, Nene and Greg visiting Cynthia and Peter. And he's talking about cool, blah, he's talking about, Katie was acting something like a ghetto rat or something like that. I forgot the term to say ghetto rat. I forgot what he said, but I knew it had something ghetto in it. They got Cynthia all like, she was all like this, she was all like this, she was all like this. She didn't say that actually, but of course she had to say, in front of her Nene, but you know how that goes. Anyway, so then also you got Kenya and Brandon. Make a long story short, he has a shiner, his brush roll. He met with his lawyer and everything like that, but he decided not to press charges because that's automatic feeling. He was thinking about, if we're just Phaedra and Apollo, I would have went with it, but he's not going to do that because the thought about that they do have babies, so he's going to leave it alone. Of course, Kenya again, like I said, whatever, of course, still I could have, because she's talking about Chris, she was like standing up because she wasn't going to have no man put her hands on her, but like I said, I'm looking from the angles like nobody's blaming Nene. And fast forward, you got Candy, like I said, so we all got interpretation, blah, 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 right? Of course, Candy decides a couple days later to do some small treatment minus Mallory, right? Maybe she was home making some bracelets. Anyway, so we sat there and but before that, Candy had this casting call because she's still about getting the coins. An open casting call. She had this open cast director that's famous and known for doing that, right? And doing that, and it was just like the typical audition you see in a lot of reality shows now. 9 times out of 10, all the people in the first one be messed up because she was trying to do an open cast call, give people their first chance of, getting out there and stuff, right? Getting, help them, but none of them worked. They had 2 possibles out of 4, and some people, I think they tried, and then it was an epic fail. And, we got Portia try. I mean, she get ready. She's doing some exercise with your jogging. She's trying to sing. We all know that didn't go nowhere. It was some little mini clip, right? So let's fast forward to this mess, right, in these last couple minutes. Because like I said, really that's what it was on focus on. Candy realized she actually apologized. She had this small thing. And, Cynthia, like I said, feels some type of way about Candy now. And, it was Phaedra and Nene and Cynthia decided to go and get like foot massage stuff. They didn't get like a full, you sitting on this laying on stomach massage like Candy and Portia and Kenya ended up doing, right? So, then it was hilarious when Nene and I think Phaedra was talking about certain stuff about, you get your coochie keys out, stand over pot, so I guess we're doing with steamed coochie now. So whatever works. I think I heard about the steamed coochie. Didn't Tamara did the steamed coochie thing too? Okay, like steamed, coochie pot or whatever it's called. Okay, anyway, y'all. Yeah, like I said, we know even though Phaedra feels a little bit upset, she did give Apollo, okay, for now. But she just was like, that was just so out of his character. That's how she felt. But so they decided there's a little area we get green tea. I don't know if it's food or just like stuff like tea, whatever, right? And this is when they're going to talk it out because after the massages, Candy decides to have all the women come out and talk, right? Of course, Nene again still talking about Kenya was at fault about that. Kenya's still going by, like it was wrong with. I think she was more so focused about bringing about the Chris situation, right? Natalie was there, of course, and Monique was signing. Why wasn't even just the cast members? So Kenya, of course, standing ground, and I can understand why she was standing ground. She's just like, but I noticed she did not say like, well, Nene, you were the cause of me, because Nene, Nene was saying like, you would have got your ass beat, blah, blah. And I think due to circumstances, Kenya would if Nene wasn't like the one of the last the first original Housewives and the power that Nene has as far as the ladder of how the importance of the show in terms as being one of the lead cast members. I don't really think Kenya would have took that shit really, because she up here kind of blaming her, and it's kind of like that's kind of bold. Like I said, I don't like the chick, and I'll repeat again, but that's not right because she wasn't at fault. Because she had nerves to talk about you had your diaper on and you went over there and you should have stayed in your seat. Should have stayed in your seat. But Candy admitted that she was wrong, but she also letting Cynthia know, like, Cynthia, of course, was saying, like, okay, you out of control, blah, blah, blah. And then Candy was like, okay, you were kind of my face, first of all. And then I only act a certain way because she was trying to, diffuse the situation, too, was for going for because I had to slow-mo that. And like I said, Mallory, for what I gathered is she did this, and then she did this to the other one. She made sure she made use of both her hands, okay? All right, so she was just like, of course, Cynthia's like, well, if she actually did it, then I'm sorry, I apologize on her behalf. So we don't know. It kind of just ended like still nothing was solved because Cynthia ended up having to like tell everybody, okay, stop, blah, blah, blah. And because, Phaedra, of course, did the famous distraction thing where, I get hate when I tap tea bags and they drop into the tea and she questions the tea. And she was just saying about the whole thing about how the Apollo thing, because Apollo claims like he was trying to fuse the situation too. He's seen the evilness of whatever in Brandon's eyes, and he put his shoes on, something like that, and he was getting ready, to put some baby oil, whatever the hell else about Apollo was talking about, and then he was actually trying to fuse Brandon. Brandon hit him in the process, him trying to stop him possibly getting involved with the Christopher thing, and whatever, okay. So, but that's what, Phaedra's talking about, she know about the husband, but she was just saying like this, like, as black people, which I did say black people, black women, something like that, it's already bad enough, the display of, having to be going down like that was just like, that makes us look bad type of thing. Of course, Kenya feels like in a confessional, she didn't, I don't think say to her, it's like, because she feels like this, nobody, Apollo should apologize, and of course then, or Phaedra should apologize for, basically attacking Brandon. And of course, that issue that you just heard, no, not really be true of Phaedra, but like Phaedra, really, and, Nene, back and forth, like who started what, but like I said, King was just trying to fend herself, like, I'm just trying to fend myself, somebody try to pull hands on me, blah, 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 and we just hear this, the last 5 minutes, because I don't know what we heard her, yeah, I did it, no, you didn't, yes, I did, no, you didn't, that's all the heck it is, y'all. I can't even really go into, because the last couple minutes, nothing got solved, and then they end up leaving, and I think Candy was just like, okay, I guess we go back to the massage. I think it was one of them that said that, but I'm just saying it's nothing really got resolved. And nobody still has confronted Nene about it. Nene feels like she's supposed to be apologized by Kenya, but I can understand to a certain point why Kenya feels like Brandon should be apologized. Because, like I said, based on the angle of the thing, it looks like you could see like Paulo possibly jumped at Brandon, despite what the heck he's trying to make it seem like. Okay, because the angle, even the slow mo, it was so much happening. And like I said, they were trying to edit it at the same time, but show you everything, ratings, but trying to keep our rep clean. That's what they were giving us, y'all. And that's pretty much how they ended. So, yeah, y'all. I did the best I can with this mess. And I will definitely see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a pleasant week and pleasant night or whatever the case is. But like I said, in the end, nothing got solved. Pretty much it's just back and forth type of thing. And it kind of leaves it open. But Cynthia and Candy kind of like, they kind of squashed whatever animosity, whatever. So we go by that. But other than that, it's pretty much whatever. Okay. So I'll see y'all in the next video, y'all. Y'all take care.